Welcome to your daytime seated stretch. In just 5 minutes, we're going to wake up our entire body. So let's get started. We'll bring our hands out to the side. We're going to reach down to the ground, sitting nice and tall. Have a slight tuck in your chin. From here, we're going to turn, look over our shoulder, and come back. We'll turn and look over the other way, and come back. Press your heels into the ground. That activates your glutes. We're going to wake up our entire body. So we're not just focusing on the upper back or the neck. We're also going to focus on the lower body, even while we do this movement. We're breathing naturally. I like to imagine my hands are trying to touch the ground. That brings my shoulders away from the ground. Sorry, shoulders away from my ears. Let's do one more. We'll come back. Great. Next, let's bring our hands together. We'll sit nice and tall, heels still pressing into the ground. We'll breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to bend to one side and press our palms away from each other and look up. Breathe in and come back up. Breathe out, we'll go to the other side, press those palms away and look up. This is so good for the upper back. Heels pressing into the ground. I love this one. Breathing. Press. Press. Let's do one more on each side. Not forcing anything. As we say, no pain, all gain. So we don't want to push it too hard. That's just going to cause your body to tense up even more. And we'll come up. Great. For the next one, we're going to bring our feet wider than our shoulder. They can be pointed at a diagonal slightly. Our hands are on our knees. We'll breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to hinge at our hips. We'll try to point our shoulder to our opposite knee. Press those heels into the ground. We'll come back up. Let's go to the opposite side. So our shoulder's going to try to touch the opposite knee. Press those heels into the ground. Come up. We're hinging at the hips. We're not rounding the spine. I'll show you from the side. If your shoulders probably aren't going to touch your knee, that's completely fine. But this is so good for the hip as we're turning over the hip, as we're pressing those heels into the ground. Breathe out, breathe in as we come back up. I love this one. Breathe out, breathe in. Our hips often tighten during the day. This is a great one to wake them up. Let's do last one. We'll come back up. All right, next we have tiger claws. This is a fun one. So we're gonna make fists, our tiger fists. We're going to breathe in and open up, look up, breathe out. We're going to press those palms forward and imagine your lower back's trying to touch the wall behind you. Breathe in, open up, breathe out, press that lower back to the wall behind you. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears. We don't want to shrug our shoulders. No reason to add more tension. So one thing that helps is sometimes I'll wiggle my fingers instead of tiger claws. That just instantly helps relax my shoulders. It also looks pretty cool. So we're breathing in, open up, press those heels into the ground. Breathe in, open up, breathe out, press. Let's do one more. So good for the spine. And press. Awesome. Next, we're going to do hip circles. So you might have done these hip circles standing. We're actually going to do them sitting. So our our heels are pressing into the ground the entire time. We're sitting nice and tall. And we'll just make small circles in one direction with our hips. It might not even look like I'm doing anything, but I definitely feel it in my hips, especially with those heels pressing into the ground. You can place your hands on your knees for assistance, or you can even bring your hands by your side just to wake up that upper back even more. We're breathing. Let's do one more this direction, and we'll shift the opposite direction. You might realize one direction is easier than the other. Even pretend like you're hula hooping. One day I'll learn that. So good for the hips. Press those heels in the ground. Let's do one more. All right. For our last movement, we're going to breathe in, sitting nice and tall. We'll breathe in and raise our arms up as we bring our heels off the ground. Breathe out as we come down. We'll try to raise our toes off the ground. Lift those heels up. Come down. Lift the toes up. If you can't lift your toes, that's completely fine. It's just great to activate our ankles. Our ankles don't get much love during the day, yet they're so important for our mobility, for how our knees feel, everything being in alignment. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. We're not shrugging those shoulders. Breathe out. Let's do one more. And breathe out. Awesome job. Awesome job on that daytime wiggle. If you would like to get more stretches like this, then join Daily Wiggles for free, and you'll get seated and standing stretches easily synced with your schedule. You can click the link in the description below, and I look forward to wiggling with you. Thanks.